What's up, you guys? It's your boy Ray. Today we're going to be talking about why LaMelo is most likely not going to go first overall in the 2020 NBA draft. Every so often, there is a basketball player in the NBA draft who at the time of the draft appears to be miles and miles ahead of the competition. Some of these people are players such as LeBron James, Shaquille O'Neal, and most recently Zion Williamson. Whenever you get a once-in-a-generation type of player such as these guys that I just mentioned, it doesn't matter what position they play, you need to draft them first overall if you are blessed to have the first overall pick. And no offense to LaMelo Ball because he is a great basketball player, but LaMelo Ball is not miles and miles ahead of everybody else in the 2020 NBA draft. He is a whole lot better than a lot of the other players in the draft, but to put it frankly, it's not like he's a Zion Williamson, a LeBron, a Shaq, or at least not at this point in his career. Maybe in the future he'll be better than all of these guys that I just mentioned, but at least as of right now, entering the 2020 draft, it's pretty obvious to anyone who has ever watched basketball that LaMelo is not just as phenomenal as Zion or LeBron or any of these other guys. Now you might be wondering, Ray, so is what you're saying LaMelo shouldn't go first overall because he is not miles and miles ahead of everybody else? And the answer to that question is yes and no, because you see, there is no one in this draft that is just miles and miles ahead of everybody else. LaMelo Ball is for sure one of the best players in the draft, and in my opinion, he's most likely going to go in the top 5 or top 6. But there's other players that you could argue are just as good of prospects as LaMelo Ball, such as James Wiseman, Anthony Edwards, Obi Toppin. So when we have a situation like this where it's not obvious who the best prospect is, like last year it was kind of obvious that Zion was the best player regardless of position, NBA teams and GMs are better off looking to see who's going to be the best player for their team as opposed to who's going to be the next superstar that can change any team, such as Zion or LeBron. So that leads us to where we are now, and we have to see who has the first overall pick in the NBA draft and who is the best player for that team. And it really pains me to say this, but the Golden State Warriors have the first pick in the 2020 NBA draft. And I'm pretty sure every single NBA fan can agree with me when I say that pisses me off, except Warriors fans. You guys are probably like baiting in money right now. But the only reason those dirtbags up in Golden State have the first overall pick is because Clay and Curry were injured, and because of that they had a horrible season. But now that Clay and Curry are going to be back at the start of next season, they're fully healthy and they're gonna have a first overall pick with all stars around them, and it just pisses me off. Sorry, I just had a rant as an NBA fan, but let's get back to the topic. So as I was saying, the Warriors have the first overall pick, and even with the absence of Kevin Durant choosing to pack his bags and go to New York, they still have Steph Curry and Klay Thompson in their backcourt. So it wouldn't really make sense for them to draft LaMelo Ball because Klay and Curry are only 30 and 32 years old. So it's not like this is going to be their last season and they're suddenly going to need a new point guard. So when we take a look at the Warriors roster, we ask ourselves, what is a position that the Warriors really lack strength in? And the answer to that question is the center position. The Warriors do not have a dominant center. So if I were the Warriors general manager, I would definitely draft James Wiseman. He's a 7'1" NBA ready center. He's versatile, he's athletic, you name it, he can do it. And granted, he could technically end up being a bust like Kwame Brown, but you can say that about absolutely anybody. Another player who I think would be better for the Warriors to draft than LaMelo Ball is Obi Toppin. Obi Toppin is a 6'9" forward, extremely athletic, explosive, good playmaker, he's versatile, and he's really been doing his thing in college, so I think he would be a good forward for the Warriors as well. And you might be wondering, but Ray, don't the Warriors already have Draymond Green? Yes, they do have Draymond Green, but so does Shrek. And after seeing what Draymond Green did this season, or better yet said, what he didn't do this season, I would honestly give up Draymond Green for my grandma. No, I'm joking. Draymond Green isn't a good player on his own, but he fits in really well with the Warriors system, and because of that, he's pretty invaluable. But at the same time, I'm sure they could consider getting a forward such as Obi Toppin, who has a lot of upside and potential and can be a star player for them for the years to come. There's only two scenarios in my mind where I can see the Warriors drafting LaMelo Ball or Anthony Edwards. And the first one doesn't make too much sense, but I have no idea what their general manager thinks. I don't know what anybody thinks other than myself. So this could be what they're thinking, and it's that they're thinking for their future once Steph Curry is no longer playing. They could draft LaMelo so he can learn under Steph Curry and become a better overall player. But the way I see it, the Warriors Warriors are in win now mode because Curry and Klay are still in their prime, so it doesn't make too much sense for them to already want to start building up their next guard when they could just get another point guard in 3 to 4 years when Curry and Klay are no longer in their prime. And then the second situation where I can see the Warriors drafting LaMelo or Anthony Edwards is if they plan on getting him and then trading him to another team for someone who's already a proven star in the NBA. This is what happened when Andrew Wiggins was drafted first overall to the Cleveland Cavaliers. They drafted him and then they shipped him off to the Timberwolves for Kevin Love. So in a situation like that, I could see the Warriors drafting LaMelo Ball, but if I were the Warriors, I would honestly just take James Wiseman as opposed to trying to get LaMelo and trade him for somebody else. I personally think LaMelo Ball is gonna go 5th overall, and real quick, here's why. So the Warriors have the first pick. I already told you guys about the Warriors. The second pick goes to the Cleveland Cavaliers, and they have Colin Sexton. He is a good point guard. Maybe the Cavs want a better point guard, but honestly, I don't really see them drafting LaMelo. But maybe they will, just because they're the most unpredictable franchise in history. And for all I know, they'll draft the person who's projected to go 59th overall as the second pick. I don't know. And then the third pick goes to Minnesota, and they have D'Angelo Russell, so I don't really see them drafting LaMelo. Fourth goes to Atlanta Hawks, and they have Trae Young, so I don't see them drafting LaMelo. And then fifth is the Detroit Pistons, and they could really use a point guard, so that's why I see LaMelo getting drafted by the Pistons, or they'll draft Anthony Edwards. It'll really come down to who they think is a better player. But yeah, y'all, that wraps up the video. Give this video a like for the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe if you're new. Comment down below letting me know what you agree or disagree with. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Stay blessed, stay safe, and I'm out of here.